What's up, you damn hooligans? I'm back, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ferrum Forge NTAC. Alright, this is a really small compact knife. So how we're going to do this, we're going to talk about the maker and the options that this knife comes in. We're going to talk about the specs, what I like, what I dislike, and closing thoughts. So, again, this is made by Ferrum Forge. This is called the NTAC, N-T-A-C, and this came in sort of two variations. We had them in sort of a standard variation, which the handles were sort of plain titanium in a different color. So you got green or blue or any other sort of standard basic color, nothing fancy. And then we had them with the maker's choice. And the maker's choice is this particular model is an example of where it's got the handle that came in sort of a pattern. And the maker's choice, it's exactly what it means. It's up to them, and they can do any sort of creative freedom they want with the handle. You can get them in, they would make them in any color, various colors anodizing them, various patterns, and it was some really creative stuff. So this particular model is a maker's choice, and it's sort of a bluish titanium, and you've got these scales here, again on the back as well. And it's a compact flipper. Now, what we have here is a knife that I've had before, and I had the sort of the plain standard version, and I sold it, and I missed it, and I realized I made a big mistake, and I reacquired it from some really good guys on Instagram, and I really got to give thanks to the Instagram knife community, because there's a solid bunch of guys out there, and they're all looking out for each other, and you know, I'm really thankful to have made some really solid contacts and friends on there, and guys I talk to in the knife community is really solid. So what we have here is the maker's choice. We have a knife with a 3-inch sort of stone-washed handle. We have an overall length of 6.65 inches. The cutting edge is about 2.875, and we have a handle length of 3.6. This is a compact tiny knife, and this is actually the perfect size for a knife that I like. It's compact but beefy enough to get shit done. So let's go over some of the specs as well on top of that. So we have, like I said, a 3-inch handle, sort of a satin dual finish here. The steel is Bowler N690. Awesome, wicked steel. Absolutely no issues. This thing comes sharp as hell. As you can see, very minimal markings, and if any, my eyes are pretty terrible. I don't think I see any markings on there. Yeah, that's good. Actually, it's pretty clean. The handle, titanium. It's got like an anodized bluish gray. It's got these scaled patterns on there. The screws, kind of like a purplish anodizing, I think. Clip, titanium, I think. I'm pretty sure it's titanium, actually. I got a substitution word, I think, here. Yes, it is titanium. It's actually a pretty good clip. It looks like somewhere it doesn't really belong. Sometimes I guess people prefer more of a straighter clip, but actually it works very well. Rides pretty deep in the pocket. Absolutely no issues with it. Aesthetics, I've heard them complain about it, but that's just a personal preference thing. You've got these anodized titanium standoffs, blue as well, matches the screw. And the cool thing about this knife, if you've noticed, it's got an adjustable detent. And if I remember this correctly, they've worked with, it's the Hoback adjustable detent, and I guess they've got some deal with the maker. I believe his name is Jake Hoback, and he's got some wicked knives, and this adjustable detent is his creation invention, and these guys have worked it out so they can add it to their knives. And what that means is you can control how stiff or how loose that is with a screwdriver, and how stiff or loose your blade is when it fires out. I've got mine, I think maybe a medium or kind of a stiff, so it takes a bit of effort, but it just fires right out. Like I've mentioned in my other reviews, I don't like flippers, so this one is an exception along with the other knives I have, because it's really well done. It's barely there, and it just takes a bit of a tap, and it just fires right out. So now that we've gone through the specs, what I like about this knife, I like how compact it is. I like the dual finish on the blade. I like the handle patterns. I like the color. I like the clip. You know what? The flipper tab works well, and I've got this sort of troll right here, and this blade is sharp as hell. As mentioned, it's the Bowler N690. It's a beefy blade, it's thick, and I like the fact that you're getting a lot for a small knife. I mean, it just disappears in the pocket. It's the kind of knife you want to carry if you're going to a, you know, a wedding or, you know, some sort of free meeting food invite thing, and, you know, you just want to be inconspicuous. But if you got to whip it out to cut that damn sandwich in half, it'll be right there. And it's a fairly beefy blade in terms of its thickness and its width. Even though it's, you know, it's about 3 inches, and it's a really compact knife, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over, and I think that's one of the most appealing things about this. It's for guys with damn small hands like me. It just disappears in there. What I dislike about this knife, I don't really dislike anything. I actually don't dislike anything at all about this knife, and it's the fact that it took me a second time to reacquire it to actually fully appreciate it. And the only thing that I might change or I might mod, I might delete this flipper tab and add a thumb stud on there. I mean, I haven't really messed with any knife mods, but hey, it's my knife, I can do whatever the hell I want with it, right? Do I recommend this knife? Absolutely. This thing was made about 2 years ago though, and it was a, like I said, it was a production, and it is a production knife, and it was available on BladeHQ and a couple other resellers on Instagram, and you're able to purchase this, I think, for about, I want to say maybe $350 to $450 USD. And I think the maker's choices were a little bit more because they had a little bit more creative freedom in there, and it, you know, it takes a bit of work to get the fancy design and patterns going on there. But you get a pretty damn good production knife. Titanium handles, Bowler N690 steel, and it rides on bearings. Cage fires right out, absolutely no issues. You've got an adjustable detent, so you can control how stiff or how loose this blade fires out. Bonus features you can't go wrong with. You've got a bit of color on there with the screws and the sort of anodizing on the titanium standouts there, which I think the nice touches are there. I mean, I don't like colors in my knives, but this is tastefully done. These are particularly hard to find pre-owned. It took me maybe a month or two to score this, and I really had to try. There's a Facebook Ferrum Forge group, unofficial, and every now and then, which is pretty rare, you might see one pop up on Instagram for the hashtag knife sale. But I think they're worth it if you're looking for something that's really compact, that's got really good specs, that it's just an overall really nice, really well done production knife. Some people might gawk at it for being about 400 USD price range, but that's subjective. Closing thoughts, check it out. If you can find one, go for it. Compact 3-inch blade. Really nice specs, and I'm just going to do a couple close-ups of this blade grind here, and they've done a really good job here, and it's crazy sharp, crazy compact, and I'm just a sucker for a really good blade. And take a look at the handles. I'm just going to go an overview here. The anodizing, the titanium clip, pretty springy, works really well actually. It might not flow with the aesthetics of the knife, but I actually like it. Adjustable detent. Really well done here. I apologize for how dirty these blades are, or this one in particular, but I've been carrying this one pretty heavily and I've been using it for everything. I'm cutting down my rack of lamb to eat my falafel sandwiches. Check it out. If you can find one, hit it up. If you're looking for something compact, absolutely recommend it. I'll leave a couple links in the comments section. Please subscribe to my channel for some more reviews. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks again. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys around. Take it easy.